All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to this February 1st edition of Note Night in America. As always, glad to have you all join us here on Monday night. No matter what part of the country or the world you join us, we are always glad to have you here. Got a kind of probably a relatively short call tonight. I just want to go through a couple things with you guys, help you really identify some of the things that you probably need some work on to help you take it to the next level. That's because that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have been around long enough. If you've been here for a few weeks, you've taken one of our workshops, it's time for you to take it to the next level. Now's the time to be taking advantage of the opportunities that are out there. We are seeing a lot of stuff come across our desk, and it's an opportunity for each and every one out there. If you do some of the things and get outside your comfort zone, maybe just a little bit, you'll be surprised at the success that you see out there. So anyway, guys, welcome to Note Night in America. It's your first time. Always glad to have you. These are recorded. You can always download them by going to YouTube, weclosenotes.tv. It's our YouTube channel directly, or weclosenotes.com. You can always listen to our podcast as well, either the Note Night in America podcast or the Note Closer show as well. But anyway, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of tonight's call so you guys can get on your merry way. How's that sound? So anyway, people ask me all the time. I get a phone call, people new to the note business, people new to real estate investing, and they're always kind of curious about what comes first. And by what comes first, what do I mean by that? Is that the chicken or the egg? What comes first? The chicken or the egg? Well, I'll tell you what comes first. They both do. And a lot of people, if they worry about, what comes first, is it the note deal or is it money? I don't have any money, so I can't do notes. And that's not true. Or I don't have any deals, so I can't raise any money. That's not true. And our coaching students are great examples of this, of overcoming these mind blocks. Like, oh, I've only got 50 grand in my account. That's all I can buy on. No, there's trillions of dollars sitting out there on the sidelines. People with investors waiting for you to call them to put their deals to work. There's plenty of deals out there. We've got a new coaching student who made an offer on 174 assets at 1.1 million the other day. He's waiting to find out how close he or she is to getting that approved here in the next couple of days, which we're pretty freaking excited about that. Yeah, baby. But what you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, is those that are successful investors are tackling both of those at the same time. Now, if you've got deal flow, great. And you've got some money, awesome. Kudos to you. It's good to have some money. But if you don't put in place the things that you need to be doing to be raising capital on a regular basis, you're eventually going to run out of your own money. And then you're waiting there for these deals to close out. And then you're really kind of down when good deals come that you can't tap into because you've not marketed. All right. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be, oh my God, I found a great deal, but I can't buy it because I don't have any of my money. I don't have any marketing. Okay. So big question for most people is, where do I begin? All right. What do I start doing? What are the things that I need to be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? But there's often a big mind block that goes with it, like, oh my God, I'm scared. And we all know that a confused mind is a no action taking mind. If you're confused, you're not going to step out on that ledge. If your investors are confused, they're not going to write you a check. Okay. So where do you begin? Just start doing things. I know it seems after you've taken a workshop or training to somebody, it can be overwhelming, like drinking a fire hydrant. And the one question I get all the time that people call me up with, they have their own money. They use this line of BS. I need to prove concept before I can reach out to the people. Really? No, you don't need to prove concept because the concept's been proven. It's not a concept. Note buying has been around for centuries. Okay, you don't have to prove anything. That's like saying, hey, I need to go make sure I'm a good doctor before I go operate on somebody. What? Or I got to make sure I'm a good realtor before I ever go list a property. What? That just don't make sense. And that I need to prove concept is just a falsehood that we tell ourselves. It's a lie that we tell ourselves in the face to get comfortable with not having to go out and market. Well, I can't go out and market because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Well, you know what? Nobody knows what the hell that they're doing. You want to read an interesting story, read Tom Hopkins and How to Master the Art of Sales. Tom, in his peak, was selling, averaging a house sold a day. He is one of the greatest sales trainer in the world, a mentor of mine. I was honored to spend some time learning from Tom. I've read all of his books. But listen to Tom's first story. He rode his bike as an 18-year-old kid to his listing point because he didn't have a car. He wore his band jacket to the listing appointment because he didn't have a regular jacket. The client, he opened the door and shut the door, and his client ran smack dab face into the screen door and almost fell down. Okay. You don't need a proof of concept. What you need are coaches or people to hold your hand who have gone before you and done all the heavy lifting. They've carved the path to success to help you. Oh, I just got to follow in your footsteps. I just have to follow in where you tell me to put my foot so I can get through the treacheries. I don't have to be like Indiana Jones. You've got Indiana Jones in front of you. Your coaches are the Indiana Jones to tell you exactly where to step so you don't fall in on yourselves, okay? But the most important thing that I think stops most people from any type of success is not having clear goals. And you guys have seen this. You've been a part of a virtual workshop before, how big we are about, hey, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? And you just can't say generic goals. You know, you've heard us talk about the SMART goal system. They gotta be specific, measurable. You gotta have actions. They gotta be reachable, and you gotta share them with everybody. Okay, you gotta be realistic, and you gotta figure out what your goals are. Not, I want to quit my job. Okay, that's not specific. I want to make a lot of money. That's not specific. By when? When do you want to quit your job? How much money you want to come in? What do you want to do? And what is your goal? Is it for cash flow? We know the note business can be great for cash flow. Is it you looking for some big checks and big profits? Great. It can be a combination of monthly checks coming in performing loans or big checks when you're getting cash payoffs or foreclosures or things like that. Do you have a future or legacy you're trying to do? Are you trying to retire your parents? You're trying to retire yourself? You're trying to pay for your spouse to come home or your parents, or pay for your kids' future. You're trying to change your future. All right. I had a conversation with a guy today that paid $1,500 to get a certification as a private money broker. And I laughed. I told him, I said, sorry, man, you just paid for a bag of shit. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, you don't need to have a certification to be brokering money. It's somebody just sold you on a bag of goods, a bag of fluff. All right. All you need to do to broker money or put things in place is to put people in place and you pay a fee agreement. All right. There's a lot of things like wholesale. You don't need a license to be a licensed wholesaler. You just go wholesale property. You just got to know what you're doing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of crap out there like that. And unfortunately, we get sold a bag of goods sometimes. We've all been there. We've all signed up for stuff, all taken stuff that didn't make sense for us because it wasn't working in today's world. Okay. So I'm going to ask you guys, where are you at? Realistically, you got to look yourself in the face. Where are you at versus where you want to be? And you know what? None of us are where we want to be. Don't care how successful you are, have been in the past or currently. We're not where we all want to be. Okay. We all want to be doing big things and going further. And you have to think about that. How close are you to your goals? Now, what are your goals? Is it to leave your job? Is it to replace your income just so you can do this full time? You have to look at where you're at. Well, I've got one note paying $250 a month. Hey, kudos to you. One note, one step is much better than no steps. And big things always start with small steps. Every journey always begins with that first step. It always begins with that thing. So what I want you to realize, ladies and gentlemen, is that you guys are actually very much closer to your goals than you think you are. You're much closer than you should give yourself credit, than you're giving yourself credit for. So you have to think about, are you 6 months for your goal, or have you not even started? You're still in the tracks. You're not even in the race yet, and you're 6 years out. Are you letting your job and somebody else's goals overrule what you want to accomplish? Think about that for a second. If you're at the mercy of somebody bringing you into work, or you've got a job. Now, if you love your job, love your career, that's great. And no investing is a hobby, that's phenomenal. But I know many people out there have been struggling or are struggling, and they want to do something different that they can do from anywhere from home. So you have to think about, if you were to put your really gusto, give it your all, are you 6 months away or 6 years away? You have to be honest with yourself. And so these are the questions I like to ask. And I've been asking, having conversations with one-on-one coaching students and our students from the past, and people are giving me phone calls. And I was asking, how many notes did you review in 2020 and last year? In the last 12 months, how many notes have you reviewed? And many people are like, none. I'm like, what? You didn't look at any? Well, I looked at a few. I just kind of stopped focus. I'm like, why? What'd you focus? Well, I tried to do this, try to do that. That's the biggest mistake. You know, that Russian proverb, a man who chases two rabbits catches none. Okay. If you want to be successful at something, you have to pour your heart, your soul into it. Even on the days you don't feel like doing stuff. You got to get up and find some motivation. You got to get up to make things happen. Everybody goes through highs and lows. Okay, everybody. Me, Mark Victor Hansen, everybody goes through highs and lows. Dean Graziosi, all right, Tony Robbins. And I like what the best that Tony says, when you find opponents that are worth your time, that takes you to a whole nother level. And a lot of us, we're just stuck in a comfort zone. We're stuck in here because it's comfortable. We're safe. Safe equals broke. And you look at all these things that are coming out and what governments and plans and this whole basically just, hey, pass the buck to somebody else, doesn't mean we're going to get anywhere. Okay? Doesn't mean we're going to get anywhere. So if you look at yourself, how many notes did you review last year? If it's none, you need to up that sum, because if you're doing zero, you're not taking the actions to start making things happen for you. Now look at how many offers did you make last year? Oh, this takes a little bit more level of commitment. You mean I actually can't just look at them and scratch my itch, Scott Carson? I actually have to make some offers. Yeah, you got to make some offers. And how many of you, when I mentioned somebody's making 171 offers for 1.1 million, kind of, ooh, I want to learn more about that. Yeah. And what was funny is when the take came in, I was reviewing, I was like, okay, let's make a bid on the whole thing. It's all or nothing. And they were like, what? Why aren't you bidding? I'm like, because your guy's here. Let's knock it out. I'm going to help you with this. What? One more time. What? And they're excited. They're like, oh my God, I think I've got most of the money raises this comes through. And I'm like, cha-ching, baby. Yeah. 171 offers right there. But think about this. How many offers are you making? 171 doesn't have to be your number. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20. It all coincides with what your goals are. All right. And I'd love for you guys to start throwing some questions out at me or some comments. How many deals did you review last year? How many offers did you make in 2020? All right. And the question is, how many deals did you close? Now, if it's zero from the very beginning, we know it's zero at the end. Okay. And the thing that you have to keep track of is, what are you making your goals? Because most people have roughly a 10% closing ratio on their deals in the first 6 months is what we've seen. All right. The first couple months, you may not know what you're doing. You may figure this out. You may have a zero closing ratio. And that's normal. That's okay. I've had people like, oh, make offers, 15 offers, get 15 offers accepted. And they're all excited. But after they dial into their due diligence, like, oh, none of these were good deals. I way overbid. You learn. And that's the only way that you're going to get ahead in life, is learning and working through this. If you're not making any offers, there's no opportunity for you to go through the due diligence process. There's no opportunity for you to go in the marketing and raising capital side. And you know what? If you strike out your bids, you decline your bids, and then you strike out in the capital raising, but you did something, you know what you did? You're a smarter investor now. You've learned that you need to take that action. You learned, hey, this stuff isn't as hard as I thought it would be. All right. But that's what most people don't realize. You only have about a 10% closing ratio in the first 6 months. Because why? You're learning your markets. You're learning the bid process. You're learning what you're actually looking at when you're breaking down tapes. And that's an important thing. Now, the number one question that I have to ask each and everybody out there is, do you know what and where you're looking for stuff at? Some people are like, oh, I'm looking at everything. No, you're not. That is not your market. Every asset is not your deal. And when I've taught live classes before, when they were in person, I could always tell who the realtors were, because when we would go through a tape, oh my gosh, you would see the realtors literally start melting down. I'm like, why are you getting all stressed? Because all these properties are all deals. Like, no, they're not. What are you looking for? What do you mean? I got buyers. No, I don't need you to be a waiter. I don't need you to be an order taker. What do you want? Where do you want to invest? What do you want to have in your portfolio? Not what John Smith down the road does, or Donna Bauer, or somebody else out there wants for you. What do you want? What do you want your note business to look like? And everybody's answer is different. I want to deal after performing first in these 5 states. Great. Oh, I want to go after non-performing. Okay, great. You have to know what and where you're looking for. That was one of the biggest things that with my coaching students the last few weeks is going through like, whoa, why are you looking at these? These are way above what you need to be looking at. There's too much equity here. Oh, that makes sense. You have to have so many times hold your hand through the thing. I had a realtor come work for me for a little while, and he made these offers on these Georgia assets, and he made like at 70 cents across the dollar. I'm like, whoa, why are you overpaying? He goes, what do you mean overpaying? And I can get this. Like, dude, some of these only have like 50 cents on the dollar value or UPB. Why are you overpaying what's owed? Well, Oh, I'm like, you don't know. You're not, this guy wasn't coachable. I was like, you didn't sit, would you not sit through the class? And well, no. You don't know as much as you think you know, ladies and gentlemen. All right. The question I always like to ask people is a couple of things. I'm going to launch a poll. I want you to answer these questions for those of you guys that are on here. Now, you're watching this on a replay. That's okay. You can play along as well. All right. So I'm going to launch my poll here. It's just a few questions for those of you guys who are doing here. And I really want you to answer these questions because it'll help us dictate what we cover the rest of the call here. And the questions are really, I think it's about 4 or 5 questions. And it helps if I hit launch polling. First question, how often are you emailing asset managers or bankers? Is it weekly? Is it bi-monthly? It means once every 2 weeks, roughly, once a month, or never. Okay, that's the first question. And be honest, I'm not tracking who answered what. Okay, I already pretty much know the answers to these, but I want to bring the answers up to you guys. I want you to see how people are voting. Okay. Next question is, how often are you emailing your warm contacts? By warm contacts, that means your fellow investors, your people on business cards, the people you've met at networking events or other events. How often are you doing it? Are you doing it weekly? Are you doing it bi-monthly, like once every 2 weeks? Are you doing it monthly, or are you doing it never? All right. Please answer the questions, ladies and gentlemen. The third question, how often are you posting, sharing to social media about your note business? How often are you sharing? Are you doing it daily, weekly? Does liking other posts count? No, it actually does not count. If you're just liking other people's posting, because you're giving them credible response versus doing anything to you. And my posting, that means actually talking about something, not just putting a cat gif up there, 2 kittens sitting there rocking. It means actually posting an article, posting something, and actually commenting on it, trying to derive some thought. Okay. Please, folks, take the time, answer these, okay? Fourth question, what is holding you back the most? Is it finding deals, raising capital? Is it marketing, okay? Is it having a game plan or don't know where to begin? All right? A lot of people are like, I don't know, all right? And I always like to ask this too, last question, just to give an idea. Note weekend, what have you taken kind of training? Have you taken our 1-day note training class? Have you taken our 3-day virtual note buying workshop? Have you taken somebody else's training, which is completely fine? Or you just take the free stuff? And by the free stuff, that means like podcasts and YouTube videos. Okay. All right. There's no right or wrong answer to these. It's all about what you guys want. Thank you for those starting to vote. Thank you very much. It's just these 5 simple questions. All right. Take the time, answer the questions, everybody. Come on. You guys can all answer these questions. Help me out here because you'll be surprised, I think, at the answers. All right. Let's get a few more people. Come on, everybody. I saw somebody jumped off like, oh, no, I don't want to answer anything. I'm getting off of this thing. I don't want to give any feedback. All right, come on, let's get a couple more. Let's get a couple more, you guys sitting out there watching. 5 questions, not difficult to answer. Once again, how often are you emailing asset managers? That means like an email list of asset managers. How often are you emailing your warm contacts, investor database, people you've networked with, people you have their business cards? How often are you posting, sharing to social media about your note business? One of the things that we do when we have our mastermind meetings, ladies and gentlemen, is we pull everybody. We give you a quiz. Hey, how many articles are you posting? How many videos are you doing? Do you have a website? How many connections are you adding? Because you have to build that momentum, get rocking and rolling. You just can't say, hey, I'm going to close on 100 deals. And I've had students come in my class. Oh, I'm going to be your #1 student. I'm like, okay, great. Let's see. Crickets. I'm going to close on 50 deals. Okay. That means you have to take the time to do some basic things. All right. Let's get one more person, everybody. You're doing a great job. Thank you to everybody that's filled this out so far. Thank you so much. It makes it so much easier when we have interactive stuff. All right, we're gonna give it just a couple more seconds. Come on, everybody. How often are you emailing asset managers? Okay. How often are you emailing your warm contacts? All right. How often are you posting and sharing? Okay. What is holding you back? All right, we're gonna end the polling. All right, I'm going to share the results with you. You can see this here. Now, first thing, winner, there are no winners here. Okay. How often are you emailing asset managers? Weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, never. Never is the answer, the highest number, and that is normal. All right. Here's the thing, 90% of our students never email asset managers. And you know what happens? 90% of people aren't successful. Now, a lot of people are like, well, Scott, what am I saying? What should I say? You know what? We'll help you. We'll hold your hand. It's not that hard. If you're saying that at least monthly would be the number one spot to do. Some of you guys are doing it, which is good. But overwhelmingly, most people never send an email out to asset managers. And how are you going to find note deals? Well, I'm going to rely on the low-hanging fruit of PaperStack or FCI Exchange or these other. No, you're not. You can't build a business off of eating somebody else's crumbs. All right. You've got to go out and target the banks to get these lists to come to you. That's how you find better deals, better value, better looking assets than the crap that's left over that should be tossed from the fertilizer bin. All right. That's the number one thing in success. If you're going to start sending out consistently once a month at a minimum, best to do it at least once every 2 weeks, at least twice a month. Okay. Here's the other kicker. How often are you emailing your warm contacts? Weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, or never? Okay. Both of those. One of the biggest things that we could always tell who was going to be successful, and still to this day can tell who's going to be successful after one of our workshops, is seeing who emailed the attendees. And 80% of people never send an email out to the registration list. We used to give the registration list out to people so they could reach out to it. But when we started seeing less and less people doing it, I would always crack up because honestly, 10% of people, that's the magic number. I would love it if there's 26 of people that would take action, but really 10% of people or less take action and reach out. And this is something when you're reaching out to your warm contact list, if you want to close deals or raise capital, 80% of sales, 8% of closes comes after the 5th contact. Okay. So if you're only emailing once to your warm database, it would take you 5 or 6 months or longer to actually get them to pony up and say, hey, I'll work with you. If you do it never, guess what? It'll never happen. All right. And you need some, once again, what the heck do I say? It's not difficult. Just start talking. Case studies, events, going to places, learning. It's a very simple formula when it comes to marketing to your warm database. Not hard to do. Your case studies, others' case studies, okay? How often are you posting and sharing to social media about your note business? Somebody said daily. That's great. Some people said weekly. Great. Does liking others people's posts count? That's 75% of you. No, it does not count. You've got to be going out and either sharing other people's content, like off of DS News or M Report or Housing Wire or something from the Fed, or sharing a deal that you're working on. And you should be doing this on an almost daily basis. Not quite, I mean, weekly at a minimum, at least once a week, but with the way that social media works, you've got to be sharing on a regular basis. And it's not that difficult to do, taking something and resharing it, or taking one case study and sharing it daily across a different platform, okay? Liking other people's posts does not count. Unfortunately, that only boosts them. It doesn't help you. And isn't it time that you started to care about your dreams and goals more than somebody else's? Isn't it time that you started making a name in the community or name in your tribe for, hey, you're doing something? Sure is. And the final question is, fourth question is, what is holding you back the most? Finding deals, no surprise, came in least. It's more about raising capital, having a game plan, knowing where to begin, and then the marketing side. All right. But raising capital, surprise, surprise, falls into the marketing side of things. If you don't know where to plan or don't know where to begin, then you've never been through one of our 3-day workshops. Because one of the biggest things we teach on the very last day is we give you a list of things to do. And then when our coaching too, hey, here's what we're doing day by day. Here's what you're going to do this week. Here's what you're going to do next week. Here's why this works with this one. If you don't get this done, you can't move on to the next level. It all works in marketing is like building a snowman along the hill. Yes, you've got to start off with something small, snowball, and roll it a little bit. It gets a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger. And sooner or later, you're like, oh my God, I've got a big freaking snowman here. Okay. But what's most disappointing is the last question. Have you taken over about half of you have taken my 1-day note weekend? Kudos. A quarter of you have taken the 3-day workshop. Some of you have taken other people's training, and some of you just take the free stuff. And I get that those that have to take the free stuff, you're either on a budget or maybe you're just very frugal. At some point, the free stuff isn't going to fill in the information for you. At some point, the free stuff It's going to take forever for you to get to. You could literally go and watch all 650 episodes of my podcast or listen to them all and do this business, but it's going to take you a whole lot. For those of you guys that have taken the workshop and not done anything or not emailing out, you're reaching out, doesn't that frustrate you a little bit? How many of those have taken other people's training and not had success? Now, I know I teach differently than most people out there. I give you a lot of the tools, the websites, the links to do, and show you how to market when nobody else does that. I show you how to raise capital when most people won't tell you that. I show you the ways to get deals out there, and nobody else does it. But what's holding you back? We've had plenty of students take our 3-day workshop and go out and be successful, go out and close on some deals because they listen and they're coachable. But what's that mind block? It isn't marketing. Is it confidence in yourself? Is it being able to step out and know that you're not going to get hurt? Nobody's going to shoot you? Or you just need somebody to hold your hand? All right. And one of the great things is over the years that we have seen, I've been teaching note investing for 10 years, and my coaching has changed as the market's changed, as we've gotten more experience at coaching and closed a lot more deals. And then also working with new vendors and seeing how the market changes, seeing how people learn differently. Our one-on-one coaching is not the same as it was 12 years ago. It's totally different in a good way. But what we have found, no matter how we've coached, whether it was 8 weeks of webinar calls or it was 5 days with me one-on-one or 2 days with me one-on-one, or going through things or going through group coaching, we've always found basically 5 characteristics that work really well. And I want you to ask yourself if you fit these categories. All right. Are you marketing daily? Most of you aren't doing that. Okay. But we have found those that have been successful are marketing in some sort of fashion. Email, social posts, video, whatever. They may record a video and they rinse and recycle it every day. They may go to Bigger Pockets and share their video to 10 people a day. That's marketing. That's talking to 10 people, 10 investors. Sharing something, doing a Friday stroll, doing a podcast, talking about what they're doing a Facebook Live. Something marketing daily will allow you to stand out from the crowd, because these days, we all know we're all just so flush with so many different ways. You've got to stand out with consistency. It's not that hard to do. But those that are successful are the ones that are marketing the most. Okay, maybe it's not daily. Maybe it's doing it in a part-time, because most of our students start off part-time. Some start off full-time, because they're coming from the real estate field and they're like, oh, I don't need to do all this stuff. I'm going to focus full time on this. But you have to start marketing daily. If you don't start marketing daily, that's going to be really hard for you to take a plunge. Second thing, they're communicating with their network on a weekly basis. This may be an email. It may be a video. They're getting the word out to their tribe, to their audience on a weekly basis. Some sort of fashion, they're getting the word out on what they're doing. And they're starting to build a tribe. Everybody has their own tribe, ladies and gentlemen. You all have your own tribe. It's just whether they're listening to you or not. If they're not listening to you, who are they listening to then? Is it your competition? Is it other investors? Is it something else? We need so many people to step up and lead this country. And the only real answers I see out there is for investors like you and me to take that step up, to be truly leaders. All right. I've had an interesting thing happen here the last couple of days in Austin, Texas. Never thought I would be doing this, but leading our community here, leading a protest, fighting against the city of Austin, which has surprised me. But part of what's helped us be successful in a important period of time is the fact that we are communicating with a new network on a daily basis. We're communicating in different ways, but we are stepping up, and you have to do that too. If you're afraid to step up and say something, in the words of Aaron Tippin, one of my dad's favorite songs, you've got to stand for something or you fall for anything. All right. Aaron Tippin. Okay. Got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. You don't want my country western singing to kick in. But go out and listen to it. I'm going to have that song in your guys. You got to stand for something or you fall for anything. I love that song. Gets my hair. It was one of my dad's favorite songs. And you've got to stand for something, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to do something, all right? Contacting, those that are successful are contacting banks at least on a monthly basis, often every week or every 2 weeks, or they set up their marketing to happen on a weekly basis, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. They fit that contacting the bank, whether it's through LinkedIn or email blast or a variety of the two. to fit around their full-time schedule, make it a regular activity. Because that's what, remember what we said, 80% of sales are made after the 5th contact. They're not waiting 5-6 months. They're wanting this to happen every other week, so they can squeeze it to 2.5 months versus 5 or 6 weeks, versus 5 or 6 months. I'm sorry. Okay. Another thing, they're making offers weekly, not monthly. They have a number. One of the things I always tell people, like, look, how many deals do you need to do this year to hit your numbers? If you need to do 20, close on 20 deals, guess what? Make 20 offers on a weekly basis. You'll get there a lot faster. A KPI, key performance indicators. How many offers are you making this week? If you needed 20 a month, great. That's 5 a week. All right, 4 a week, whatever it might be. Look at what your actions are and make offers. Okay. They're also putting systems in place if they have 5 or 50 hours. Systems in place. That's Buffer. That's the Hootsuite. That's an email service provider. Okay. Like MailChimp. They're putting these simple things in place. They're learning how to create one piece of content and sharing it, or pulling RSS feeds, or they're identifying specific markets, specific market values, properties, note styles. There's a lot of little differences that you put in place, but that all comes with being coachable, taking action, and making the most of your time, whether it's part-time or full-time. Okay. And here's the biggest thing. Our successful investors, they don't play at investing. They're actually out there being one. They're not playing with this. They're not dilly-dallying. They're just not tipping their foot in the deep end. No, they're diving headfirst in. And you have to look at yourself too. What are you doing? Are you just playing at it? Is the idea this cool? Ooh, I'm going to take another class and another class, another class. I'm going to play at it. No. That was one of the biggest things that always frustrated me in my early career as a real estate investor and as a coach. I was traveling the country doing mortgages roughly for about 4 years around the Ron LeGrand system. And I would see all these people going to these events over and over again, or see them at special events that we were doing, mortgages at. And I'd ask, hey, I saw you 2 weeks ago. How'd that work? Oh, it was great. I said, did you get some of the marketing out? Yeah. Great. You get a lot of leads? Yeah. I said, how's it working? I don't know. I had to go to the next workshop. I don't have time for my leads. I'm like, that's so horrible, because the fact is, you put this money in, put this investment away from your family, you spend the marketing, and now you're not sitting there harvesting. You're letting the real labor, the fruits of your labor, rot in the vine. And for those that take classes over and over and over and over again, that's what you're doing. You're not really getting out there and pulling the trigger, making things happen. You're playing at being an investor versus actually being one. And I'm here tonight to really just drive it home that you don't have to play at anything, ladies and gentlemen. You can actually take the action to pull the trigger and make things happen. I don't care if you don't have any money. Get out there and start marketing. All the things, 90% of the things we talk about are basically free for you to start off with. Free accounts, free systems. You just got to put them to work. Get some momentum going. You just got to take action. And I've had people that work 100 hours a week that have success. So don't tell me, oh, I worked 40 hours this week, or I worked 60 hours a week. I don't care. If you're serious about something, you'll make time. Either get up early or you'll stay up late and make things happen. It is what it is. Okay. The choice is ultimately yours, whether you want to take action or not take action. And I wanted to share a few case studies with you guys of some of our students, some of our people that are out there doing, that we've taught, that have gone out and done amazing things and have made a name for themselves. All right. First guy I want to talk about, Cody Cox. He's done a great job. Still working full time. One of these days, he's going to finally pull the trigger and leave his full-time career. He works for the Oregon Veteran Affairs Office in the mortgage industry. Done a great job. Started a fund. He's getting closer and closer each day. Had a few setbacks, but that's all good. He keeps rocking along. We're really proud of the success Cody has. And you'll probably see him speaking at Note Camp here at the middle of the year. All right. We're pretty excited about what he's just done. A great job. Got a big heart, big passion for helping some things, and just doing a great job. You maybe recognize this guy, Chrisavanni. Done a great job. He's one of the hosts of the Good Deeds podcast, closing probably over 100 deals by now. But where did he learn it all? He learned it all from us. He was our student of the year 2 years ago. Learned it from us. Partnered up with a couple of his JV partners from learning from us that were other students. So we're really proud of the fact that what he's done. And hey, he's done a great job of the podcast. And where did he get it? He learned it from us. So done a great job, juggled, working full time and making things happen, putting systems in place while he's juggling having kids and working a full-time job. Next one of our favorite people in the world, Mr. Robert Woods. Robert Woods was the host of an NBA podcast. Originally, came to us as one of our borrowers on a property that he hadn't paid on in a couple of years. Yes, he was a deadbeat borrower. We were able to get him to sign that property over with his business partner at the time. We took the property back. He called me up and said, hey, man, I'm not a bad guy. I'd like to learn about what you're doing. Like, okay, great. Let's teach you. I got a class in San Francisco. He was in LA, came up, went to the 3-day class. I think maybe it was a 4-day class then. He's like, oh my God, I want to do this. And now fast forward, I don't know how many years, Robbie's closed down over 100 deals, used what he's learned from us to really dive into his real estate experience, using notes to find properties, fix and flip development. Absolutely proud of what he does. And Robbie will tell you it's because of the fact that we found some faith in him and knew that he could do what he could do. And he found confidence in himself to go out and make some things happen. And I always love talking to Robbie, always proud. He's not an ex-deadbeat borrower, an ex-student. He's like a brother from another mother now. One of those guys that I absolutely love having a beer with and chilling with, whether it's in the Dominican for Jack Krupe's wedding or chilling in Orlando, just shooting his shit on a phone call once a month. I'm proud of what he's done and what he's become. We've really taken somebody who was in a bad situation and did a complete 180 on him to the point where now he's a couple digits. He's got a couple, 2 comma club in the real estate business because of us. Matt Mueller. Matt is one of my coaching students who goes way back out of San Diego. He used what he learned from us in the business to go out and land a portfolio. I think it was about 125 commercial properties that he bought at a big discount and has been managing that and just done an amazing job. Raised millions of dollars. We're going to have him on the podcast here in the next couple of weeks and just absolutely proud of what he's done. Still living in San Diego, now married, but he used the knowledge, closed on quite a few single family loans, loved the commercial side of things, and really found an amazing portfolio that he took down from our teachings. And so we're really proud of what Matt Mueller has done, and just a great guy, absolute great guy to hang out with too in San Diego. Eric Hyde, some of you guys may be familiar with Eric Hyde, a police officer who's also shot in the line of duty, but then wanted to learn the note business and came on, did a really great job. He's bought quite a few assets. Actually started teaching a couple intro classes, stuff like that, but really proud of what he's done and what he's doing with his legacy out there in San Diego. But done an amazing job. Still working full time as a police officer. He loves that. He also likes helping people and teaching people out there. So we're really proud of what Eric has done. All right, Laura Blanc. Oh my gosh, Laura Blanc is one of my favorite people in the whole world. She may not know that, but she was our investor of the year, comeback investor of the year 2 years ago. She started out like Main Street. She had a little bit of money in the bank, bought a couple notes, was tired of the fix and flip, the wholesaling, paying other people for a new tool in the tool belt. And she really sunk her teeth in the note business. At the end of the first, I think 18 months, she bought 18 deals. She's closed on almost 100 plus now at this point. She's working on a big portfolio last time I talked to her. Just done an amazing, was able to use what she's learned in the note business to actually make a name for herself. Loves this all. It's all she does. Her and her son. She moved into her dream house just recently in Maryland, and we're really proud of what Laura has done and become. She's just absolutely got a great big heart, and just love seeing the success that she's done. She's very coachable, very teachable. All these guys and gals so far, very coachable, teachable. We talk about some of our most successful students, Jay Tenenbaum. Jay's closed on over 300 notes. He was one of our first coaching students, and he bought 3 notes, then 28 notes. Then he started buying a bunch of notes. And to this day, he's closed on, I don't know, we were talking the other day, probably closer to 500 assets. Used what he learned in the note business, closed on a bunch of deals, make a lot of money. Has bought a portfolio of rental properties out of Evanston, doing some other things, but he's really done a great job buying a lot of deals, closing a lot of deals, 300 plus notes. And that would also go the same for our buddy Wayne Snail. Wayne Snail was working a 6-figure job, 80 hours a week, traveling internationally, what many of you might consider very successful. And in Wayne's mind is very successful as well, but he was also burnt out and doing the same old. He invested in rentals, didn't like doing that, invested some money, part of a Ponzi scheme, lost a bunch of money, and he was really shy when we met him. He was scared. We spent time with him. We developed his game plan. I asked Wayne, what do you want to do? He goes, really, Scott? I don't want to do what I do anymore. I'm burnt out. I don't want to work these 80 hours a week. I don't want to fly to Australia and back twice a year. It's not fun anymore. Having the all the rewards, it's like a scene out of the movie Up in the Air. And so that's what we did. We worked a game plan for him to be able to replace his income. Took him about 18 months. He still hung around a little bit longer than his job, but he was making good money. He could have quit. He was actually begging his boss to fire him. And now this day started to fund, closed on a couple hundred deals, and just done an amazing job out there. And then you also look at one of our students in the last couple of years, Logan Hanson. Logan's closed on over 100 deals. doing a great job. He was very successful in his first 6 months of business, closed on a couple of deals. He almost hit his monthly income goal, what he wanted in recurring cash flow in his first 6 months, and just done a grazing job. And what's the great thing about these guys and gals? They just followed our plan. They were coachable. They took the tools that we gave them and applied that in their day in and day out activity, whether it was part-time or full-time. And I could go on and give you story after story after story, not just these people, but dozens and dozens and dozens of other investors out there. Some that stayed in the first lien, some went into the junior lien space. Some used what they learned to land a big portfolio of REOs. Some have gone into the commercial space of things. We just know what we know, and we do a great job of really sharing and taking somebody's dream and helping them make it reality. And some people have faster success rates than others. It all depends. And that's the great thing about the note business, everybody. It's like a choose your own adventure. It's write your own story. You just got to start writing. You got to put that pen to paper and start taking action on a daily, a weekly, monthly basis. And you know what? Everybody has had hiccups. Everybody has had hiccups in their business. I could tell you stories about them, their hiccups, because I get the phone calls. What do I do to get over this? We do this. Okay, great. What does this happen? We'll do this. Call this person. Talk to this person. Life is not perfect. But when you have somebody you're going to reach out to, and you've got a group and a network and somebody who really has your best interest in mind and wants you to succeed, and my success is not predicated on your success, and your success is not predicated on my success, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that I can show you I can either give you a fish, show you a list of notes that you can cherry pick from, and that's it, or I can show you how to go out and find your deals. I can show you how to find out who that list came from and where they got it from. All right. And then I can help you make contact with a person so you don't have to worry about paying 10, 20, 30 grand extra because of what you paid somebody for coaching. No, you can go direct to the source, direct to the deal flow, and bypass everybody else. It's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. And that's really what our one-on-one coaching is all about. But these guys and gals, what they all have in common, they're 100% coachable. They listen. They don't think they know better. They ask questions, and they go out and take action on it. Okay? They're very motivated. They understand what they want to accomplish, how much they want to make, and they took action. They took action first and foremost. And they also followed our plan of success. How many offers do you need to make? Who do you need to make phone calls to? How many emails do you need to reach out to? How many times do you need to go network? We help them customize their own game plan of success because everybody's unique. And we've done this plenty of times, okay? But the biggest thing I can tell you is they focused on notes only to begin with. They didn't focus on fix and flipping. They didn't focus on wholesaling. They didn't focus on light rehabs. They didn't focus on trying to flip this or flip that. They got serious, and they followed that one rabbit. And that's why they were able to catch that rabbit faster. They didn't have their attention spread. You've heard 80% of our printer rules. 80% of your success comes from 20% of your activities. Well, if you remove that 80% of distraction, that means you'll have 5 times the amount of success 5 times faster because you can put all your energy into one thing. And that's what each and every one of our successful students do. They stopped dilly-dallying around messing with a tool belt and took what they knew, what we gave them, and they went out and made some things happen for them. Okay. And they've all, like I said, they've all taken our one-on-one coaching. And our one-on-one coaching, just want to go through this with you guys quickly for you guys, because that's really one of the most important things for you guys to realize is we're here for you. You're not alone. If you don't know what you do, you know what you do, you give me a phone call. If you don't know what to say, what to email, that's where one-on-one coaching is all about. And it is a very intense thing. Give you a bit of an idea. We give you 5,000 plus asset manager in contacts. We're going to give you our top 12 hedge fund contacts that have lists that you can look at. Most of them that you would never heard of before. Okay. We're going to give you part of the 1 year in our note mastermind. And our note mastermind will be meeting here in the next 60 days as well. Okay. We're going to help you with raising private capital. We're going to show you what to say, what not to say. Heck, we'll probably even give you some IRA investors for you to market out to directly for you. You've got exclusive access. I had somebody call me today. Scott, I just got a tape in of 44 assets. Can you take a look at it real fast to make sure I'm right? I'm like, yeah. Looks like there's 2 loans on here to be reperforming. The others are foreclosed. She goes, that's exactly what I thought. Or our bids on those 2 in line? I'm like, yeah, they sure are in line. Great. Send them away. Okay. One of the things that I love doing is we have a weekly group coaching call for those that are going through our one-on-one coaching. And then we also do a separate call one-on-one with you for an hour each week. Hey, what are you focused on? Here, add this, do this, then do this. And everybody's different. Everybody's got different goals and dreams. All right. But our biggest goal is to get you rock and rolling. So you go through 8 weeks of one-on-one call, 8 week of coaching calls. Actually, this last time it was like 10 weeks. It's pretty normal. I'll probably skip a week here and there. But then after they go through that, then you have 2 days of one-on-one training with me via Zoom. And then a few months after that, usually at least 2 months after that, then we try to do 2 days in person with me here in Austin, Texas. And that's really intense. If you want to see intense, have me up your butt in a good way. That sounded bad. But really kind of motivating you, keeping you on track, and really holding you accountable. That's what it's all about. And we do, it's a bit of investment, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie, but it is well worth it because our goal is for you guys to be making that money back. Make that money back in that first deal. And we do have payment plans and a paid in full discount for you as well out there. And if you're serious about this, we would love for you to be a part of our coaching program. It's not for everybody. Contact me, give me a phone call, shoot me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. I'd love to jump on the call with you, see where you're at, see what your budget wise is, and help you really rock and roll. Because normally our coaching is 15 grand, but we do payment plans for you. And if you want to pay in full, we also offer you a discount for paid in full. Now, if you signed up and taken our 3-day virtual workshop or signed up for our note blueprint, we do credit that towards the cost as well. But it's 15 grand. Guys and gals, basically, if you're going to set up payments, we'll split up over 3-4 months. If you do a paid in full, we'll knock $2,500 off and credit you, like I said, either the 3-day or the note blueprint. We're here to help you, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to be successful. I want you to be a successful story. I want 2021 to be your greatest year ever. We've got so many deals coming across the board. You'll be making offers in the first week or two once you've gone through things. So I want to open it up for questions from anybody out there. Anybody who's got some questions, curious. And we've got some people on here who've gone through our coaching before. Jeff Wolf, see you, buddy. Hey, how's it going? I bet you're busy. It's crazy with everything on there. Robert Lynch, good to see you. Great, everybody. Questions, comments, concerns. Rocking and rolling along, everybody. Questions. Richard has raised his hand. You must have a question, Richard. Okay. If you want to type that in the chat roll, the Q&A session, be glad to answer the questions there for you. Now, one of the things, guys, the 8-week calls, we're looking at starting it here in the next 2 weeks. Not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday to get things rocking and rolling for you. Those calls are recorded. We can set the weekly call with you one-on-one. We've done some people at 10 o'clock in the morning. We do some people at 5 o'clock at night, some people at noon. Try to fit into your schedule that works the best for you. You know, whether you're at home or the office, those are done via Zoom. We do record those, so you can go back and watch those. And the nice thing is everybody's a little bit different. So everybody's a little bit different during their one-on-one calls with me. And then the group coaching, I bring in something that's easy enough for everybody to do. But it all builds on itself. It all makes you successful at the end. Come 8 weeks, a year now, you've got everything kind of developed. You've got your money sources. You've got your deal flow. Now it's just a matter of you sticking to the marketing plan and going from there. Questions, comments, concerns, ladies and gentlemen? You're always on my phone. If you're a coach or student, it doesn't end at a year. You give me a phone call. I talk to my coaches and students as they're working on deals all the time. And like I said, I'm here to help you guys. If you're interested in taking that next step, email me at scott@weclosenotes.com. All right. Scott@weclosenotes.com. We'll set up a call for you this week or early next and get you rocking and rolling there for you. But that's, if you really want to take it to a next level, you can only take yourself so far. I can only get myself so much healthy and fit by myself, trying to go and do it in the gym myself. All right. When I want to get serious, I got a coach. When I was playing football, college football, I had a coach who helped me get to that next level. All right. My podcasting, I have a podcast coach that's helped me take it to that next level. We all are at one spot. We can only so far get to somewhere, and a coach is meant to accelerate that to help you go 0 to 60 that much faster. And that's the biggest thing I can tell you about all our successful students that closed out deals. They did it a lot faster than everybody out there else trying to peck at it, try to get it on their own. Yes, is it an investment? Yes, it is, but it's a whole lot cheaper than others. It's a much bigger bang for the buck with what we give you, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. But we've got just 8 spots is all we do on a regular basis. So it's just 8 spots available for you. If you'd like to be a part of it, great. Love to have you. If not, hey, no biggie. We're here. We love you, and we'll hope to see you at the top, everybody. If there's no other questions or comments, ladies and gentlemen, we'll let you go for the evening. And like I said, email me at scott@weclosenotes.com, whether you're watching this live or watching this replay or listening to it. Always encourage and love talking to our students out there. But go out, take some action, everybody. And we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.